Spartanburg County, South Carolina. That is where we're at because apparently Sheriff Chuck Wright has got his feelings hurt when he thought some people in the department were going to be voting for his opponent in the next sheriff's election. So he's decided to throw some firings here and some firings there, and the people have decided that they are not going to stand for that and they're going to file some lawsuits. Also, I would like to note 78% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. You got your phone in your hand, you're at your laptop, click the button, and we'll move along. So, let's see what is going on in Spartanburg County, South Carolina.
Berkeley, thank you again. We have been able to confirm through sources that there is an active FBI probe right now into the sheriff. To tell us more, Grace Runkle joins us now. And Grace, we learned that this stems from a state ethics investigation, something that you followed closely.
That's right. We've been following it for months, and it was actually Chuck Wright himself who confirmed that the State Ethics Commission was looking into his actions last summer, the allegations involving nepotism. Now, Wright told us the investigation started after his son began working at the sheriff's office. We've reached out to the State Ethics Commission multiple times, and each time they told us they cannot confirm or deny the existence of an investigation.
It is not.
But we also uncovered a lawsuit alleging nepotism as well. The lawsuit was filed by former Lieutenant Jeremy Beard. It says Beard expressed
now this one is a lieutenant.
Concern about nepotism after Wright's son was hired as a part-time employee but was working in a full-time position. Then in August last year, Bird was told that he was under investigation. The lawsuit goes on to say that Bird was given a polygraph test, placed on paid suspension, and given an order not to discuss the contents of the interviews he went through or the accusations against him with anyone else following his interview. Now, he did contact 3 other lieutenants whose names had not been mentioned, whose names were mentioned in that interview. However, he says he only told them that their names had been brought up and that they may be interviewed themselves. And Bird was then told that he was being terminated for insubordination. The lawsuit alleges that Sheriff Wright then made comments throughout the department that Bird was a mole and that Wright had, quote, found the mole. Following Bird's termination, the sheriff's office has filed a response denying those allegations.
All right, Grace, and we'll be sure to follow up those updates as well because we're following all this closely. We'll bring you any first alert updates in this ongoing situation. Again, tonight we have been able to confirm through multiple sources that an FBI probe is ongoing into Sheriff Chuck Wright. We'll have much more coming up throughout this evening right here on Fox Carolina News.
Alrighty, so let's see if there's any more information on that.
Fox Carolina investigates multiple sources painting a picture to Fox Carolina of the environment inside the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office under the leadership of Sheriff Chuck Wright. The main accusation that Sheriff Wright had a, quote, hit list of people he wanted to force out because he thought they were supporting another candidate for sheriff in last year's primary race.
You can't make this up. A sheriff has a hit list, and he's not new on the scene. He has been a deputy since, 1986. He's been a sheriff since, 2004?
A new lawsuit accuses the sheriff of similar conduct. Now, this all comes after Fox Carolina News Investigates confirmed through multiple sources with direct knowledge that there is an active FBI probe into Sheriff Wright. One of the sources confirmed to me that they were directly interviewed by FBI agents regarding nepotism and alleged misuse of government funds. Another source said they were also interviewed about nepotism. The FBI has told us they're not able to comment and provide comments on the potential existence of an FBI investigation. Now, the sheriff is currently on a leave of absence. Now, our investigative team also found a new lawsuit filed just last week. It describes a concerning work atmosphere, very similar to what our sources have described. Our investigative reporter Grace Runkle joins us now to break down the accusations in this lawsuit.
Well, this is the second wrongful termination lawsuit against the sheriff's office that we've uncovered this year. It says that Sheriff Wright ended one deputy's career when he thought that she was backing his opponent in the primary. Tracy Moss worked at the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office for almost 20 years. But this lawsuit says that career came to a sudden end after her family member put this sign up at their business. The sign showing support for Nick Duncan.
And I believe she's a sergeant, and she's been there 20 years. I'm just throwing that out there.
Who ran against Spartanburg County Sheriff Chuck Wright in the Republican primaries last June. The lawsuit says it all started months before when Wright told Moss's supervisor he'd heard she was, quote, pulling for Nick Duncan, and that he'd, quote, have to fire her. It goes on to say Moss heard Wright kept a, quote, hit list of people who he said were supporting Duncan. Fast forward to July 8th, 2024, Moss had just returned from a 2-week vacation, and supervisors told her she was being terminated. The lawsuit says they gave Moss a letter saying she violated rules involving truthfulness and unsatisfactory performance, and that Wright had received allegations of, quote, impropriety that the state law enforcement division would have to investigate. After a 4-month investigation, SLED determined the case was unfounded.
Unfounded. Who is surprised by that? My guess would be 0 people.
Fox Carolina Investigates confirmed the finding, getting a copy of Moss's records through a public records request. This letter, filed by a Spartanburg County lieutenant after Moss's termination, clarifies she was not involved in misconduct. As of right now, the sheriff's office has not filed a response to Moss's lawsuit. But again, this is the second lawsuit that we've found. We broke the story on the first lawsuit in February. That one involves a deputy who says he was wrongfully terminated after raising questions about the sheriff hiring his own son.
And now we have heard similar stories from multiple sources. Only on Fox Carolina News, those sources are now revealing a detailed look at what they say it was really like inside the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office, many telling us Wright changed over time and seemed to become obsessed with the power of being sheriff. He felt the office belonged to him and not the people. A shift from a focus on justice and community service to one of authoritarian control and personal vendettas. Only on Fox Carolina News, our sources, who all spent more than 10 years each serving the people of Spartanburg County, are now painting a picture of what, in their opinion, they described as paranoia and intimidation inside the sheriff's office under Chuck Wright. One source who worked for Wright for decades said by the end of their time at the sheriff's office, Wright, quote, became obsessed with the power and the ability to get what he wanted. He was a dictator. It was his way or the highway. You did what he wanted or you'd be gone.
Now, typically, you work at the discretion of the sheriff. I'm just saying that's at least how it goes in North Carolina. The sheriff can hire and fire at will. Typically, I mean, you know, they'll say that's not why they fired you, but, I mean, this is where we're at. I'm just saying.
That source was recently forced to resign. They tell us, quote, it was a nightmare. Sources say inside the sheriff's office, quote, it was widely known there was a hit list. During Wright's primary race against former Deputy Nick Duncan, sources tell us whoever Chuck thought was supporting Nick, they'd be gone. Then one source says they were shocked to find out they were on the list when Wright sat them down after his primary win over Duncan and forced them to resign. The only reason given, according to the source, Wright told them, quote, you hurt my feelings. In their resignation letter, the source wrote the sheriff's office has become a place where, quote, political allegiance is valued over professional merit. We sat down with former deputy and candidate for Spartanburg County Sheriff, Nick Duncan, about these stories. He says he still remembers when he was first told what happened.
It's heartbreaking. So, I mean, I was at the beach when I found out about the first one. And, you know, it broke my heart. That was their career. That was their whole life.
He also says the people of Spartanburg County need to know what many experienced working for Chuck Wright.
Some of these people were at the sheriff's office over 20 years. That is very concerning because these are your veterans of the office. These are the ones that are training the other individuals to come in. And to let someone go just because of a difference of opinion is ridiculous.
Now, we've also obtained records that show dozens of resignations from the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office just within the last 2.5 years.
The Criminal Justice Academy keeps records anytime an officer resigns, retires, or gets fired. So we requested data for the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office going all the way back to 2023. In total, the agency has seen 75 resignations during that time. So far this year, 10 people have resigned and 1 was fired. For 2024, there were 30 resignations and 5 terminations. And in 2023, 35 people left while 4 people were fired. Now, when you also figure in the people who have retired, the department has seen 108 total vacancies just within the last 2.5 years.
Now, we did make attempts to reach Sheriff Chuck Wright, but our calls were not answered. And of course, we will keep you updated
Shocker.
on any developments
not.
regarding the FBI probe.
Anyway,
Political allegiance.
You hurt my feelings. Anyway, that's where we're at with this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, again, 78% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. You got your phone in your hand, you got your laptop, click the button, and we'll move along. Let me know what you think about this one, and I'm out.